Merry meetle. Alrighty, so now I'm just doing a follow-up recording on my girl Freya, my duck, and she had pierced her beak not her beak, that was Sigrid the week before that. She pierced her cheek with chicken wire on the outside of the run when I was cleaning. She was getting a little happy to help, and she was doing really well. Then 3 days later, she literally was dying. Like, she was just falling, couldn't even keep her crop up, her head up, and her wings were frozen. When I called around to find a vet, they're like, we're going to charge her $3.50 because it's after hours, and then for any treatment, and we're going to end up putting her down because we don't have anyone that looks after birds. We only have cat and dog vet on the after hours roster at the moment. I'm like, what? So anyway, what I'm going to do now is share. Oh, look at that. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, Sunna doesn't like the camera. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Sorry, honey bunny. It's okay. But look, she's sitting on a little nest. So anyway, I pretty much held her. If you have ducks or birds, if they are struggling to move, to stand up, or hold themselves. Now, what I did with Freya is I put her in even a smaller storage box. So, you know, where they're sleeping, they have room to stretch their wings, open their wings, and move. What I did is I put her in a 40-litre tub lined with hay, so she couldn't turn around, try and move and that sort of thing, so she wouldn't tire herself out unnecessarily. But of course, enough room to, well, open top so she could stretch out her head, because the other thing too is when they drink water, they need to actually stretch their head up so it can go down their throat, down their crop. Anyway, so yeah, you don't want to put a lid on or anything like that because I won't be able to drink water. So what I actually presumed what was happening is that she had pus and inflammation in her swollen cheek that was pierced, and basically it was interfering with her ability for water and food to go down. So she was actually acting as though she was a dehydrated duck. A dehydrated duck will die very quickly. Ducks are synonymous with water. They're basically dolphins with feathers. They have flippers for a reason, yeah? So I think that combined with stress and the inflammation in her cheek, I was worried for a while that it could have been the anti-inflammatory I was giving her, but most likely not. But I stopped giving it to her anyway, just in case, because it's meant for dogs. We need to have more science. We need to have more study and more relative findings for birds, because at the moment a lot of the things that we do for birds are based on how we treat dogs. It's funny because ducks are like dogs with feathers, mixed in with dolphin. So what I ended up doing is this. Here is not me being rude to you guys, is I'm actually stirring up a half a teaspoon of black molasses with nutritional yeast. Both of these are vegan. It's something I have as a vegan to get my iron, acene and B12 dietary needs on a daily basis, and they're yummy and they love it. So I just ended up making cups of this for her, and she was like, oh, where have you been all my life? Hey, little Miss Fox. Oh, what is it? Yeah, mama. It's okay, Sunna. Sunna doesn't like the cameraman. It's okay. Oh, honey, it's okay. Maybe she thinks it's some sort of octopus or something. We're getting them in frame. Yeah, so I'm just giving them a cup now. Yeah. Oh. Very. There we go. Hopefully that's coming in frame. But they just love it. And it's funny because Freya knows instinctively she has some of this, and then she has some water as well that's just clean and fresh. Now Sunna here, she is actually the duck that's disabled. Now when I got her, both her legs were bowed so badly that she wasn't walking properly. Now I never had birds before, especially a Peking breed. All breeds are different. They all, different breeds have different quirks. And I thought it was just her, but as she started to grow up, she only had about 4 more weeks of growing. She was young, but she wasn't a duckling, so to speak. I started noticing, oh, hang on, no, something is seriously wrong here. And basically she had vulgar legs, so the legs are deformed inward or outward. And that is because the person who was breeding ducks obviously didn't give a shit. She had not given them, or made sure that she had the correct feed for ducklings. Ducklings need to have vitamin-enriched feed. If they don't, they will end up with deformed legs in their growing. So, Sunna, say nice, honey. Oh, is it good? So, I ended up doing physical therapy on Sunna. My background includes physiotherapy, post-rehab physiotherapy, and basically I was working on her legs pretty much every day, morning and night, and also giving her extra nutritional yeast. But she obviously does well with this sort of thing, with the Blackstrap Molasses and yeast for her legs and development. We're always healing. You stop healing when you die, basically. Other animals are no different to us. So there's always an opportunity to get better. But with the physical therapy alone, I did manage to straighten out one of her legs. One of them is still, I don't think the other one's ever going to get anywhere near, normal. Maybe slightly better, but that's it. So yeah, it's important, folks, if you've got ducklings, that they have nutrition, like vitamin-enriched feed. And there's 2 different types as well. So there's a really strong type, and there's like an in-between type. So it's the type of feed you give them after the first crumble, between crumble and the adult feed. Goose in Australia is goose and duck finisher. My ducks obviously don't just eat that, but I always have a tray of it out every day, the goose and duck finisher. Just, just to tie things in. Freya. Oh, Sunna, you don't like the camera. What do you think, is an octopus or something? You funny thing. Yeah. Have you got an octopus phobia? Yay. Sunna. But Freya no longer has a swollen cheek. And so I had Freya in the restricted tub. Then I was also holding her. Last week I literally, 3 or 4 nights, no sleep, or 4 nights, no sleep. And 3 of those was pretty much holding Freya and just keeping an eye on her, staying in the office and trying to sneak in some work sort of thing. But, on that night where she was really bad, the next day, 360-degree turnaround. It was like a different duck. And she was just, vacuuming down this mixture. And, her cheek is completely down with swelling now. No swelling at all. So within 6 days, basically, her cheek's gone completely down. She's such a good mama. Look at you. She's sitting on her eggs. She likes to make a little nest. I usually take them outside. All my ducks are outside, bar Freya and Sunna. Sunna can be with the other ducks. It's just that Freya needs company. You know, ducks on their own, they get depressed and they get miserable and sick if they're on their own. Human companionship's not enough. They need to be ducks. Yeah. Baby! There's all these social things that they do that they need in their development to be a content duck, that they just can't do if they're on their own. So where was I? So in this cup, this mug, I've got half a teaspoon of Blackstrap Molasses diluted with water to the top, and a teaspoon to a tablespoon of Nutritional yeast. And that's what now Sunna is just freaked out about the camera. Sorry, none of my ducks like the camera for some reason. They just don't trust tech. Maybe I need to hide it somehow. I don't know. I will do a separate recording this week, hopefully. Sorry, I haven't uploaded as much. It's just been crazy. You know, when you get one animal sick, then the other, and then, you know, other stuff happens in life, such as moving the furniture around, waiting for new furniture to come, and it just gets out of hand pretty quickly. So yeah, I'll do a separate recording sometime this week on Sigrid. Her beak is still healing. It's like, it scabs, and then the scab comes off, and there's pinky bit underneath, and then that scabs and then falls off, and there's a flesh pinky bit underneath. It keeps doing that, but each time the flesh pinky bit underneath is smaller and smaller. So her beak is basically renewing itself. So I'll do a recording with her outside of the bathtub when I take her outside the bath one night. So might even do it tonight, just to show you the development of her beak, how it heals. And her beak was pretty badly punctured. And I think she'd done it with a rock, you know, because she likes to dig. She'll dig to China. And she must have just really whacked and punctured her top of the beak, the nib, which is the front there, which they use to get worms in the soil. She pretty much pierced it all the way through, and there was like blood everywhere. Yeah, I had to take her to the vet for that one, just to make sure she hadn't, you know, had anything in her beak that, you know, we need to get imaging just to check. But anyway, that's it from me. So for all of you, whether you're vegan or not, have Blackstrap Molasses and Nutritional yeast in your pantry or in your kit for your birds. If they are sick for any reason whatsoever or having a hard time, it's a really good way of getting some super micronutrients into them. Also, of course, by default, some carbohydrates in there as well. That's simple. When you're sick, you're really not, you know, even human, like, you're really not wanting to spend a lot of effort digesting food, you know what I mean? So other animals are no different. So just make sure you have, if you're giving this to them, make sure that you have clean, fresh water next to them, and you'll find that your duck, or, you know, I'd presume your chook as well, but your duck will basically alternate between putting their heads in the cup and the fresh water. And also restrict their movement. If they're struggling to move, then restrict their movement so they're not wasting energy and stressing themselves out even more by trying to move. So that's a Sunna. That's a Freya update, and Sunna's just keeping her company. Oh, Sunna, you just don't like the camera, honey. I know. What do you think it's gonna do? Eat you? Hey? What do you think it's gonna do? You silly monkey. Sunna, Sunna, Sunna. Sunna, Sunna, Sunna. Up, 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 up. Freya, you're such a good mama. Boop, 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 boop. Look at her feathers. So, I mean, yeah, Freya was being isolated anyway, because we needed to get her feathers growing back. You know, for a long time there, she was the only female with 2 boys when they were growing up. And, even when I got Sunna, and we still needed more girls, thus I ended up with 4 more girls, 6 girls in total to 2 boys. But then the boys would still go for Freya because she'd goad them. I guess in a way trying to get attention away from the other girls. And, you know, she ended up literally no feathers from the top of her head all the way down to her back, you know, so half her back was missing feathers, and the wing feathers also were snipped. So her feathers are growing back nicely now, so I'm isolating her for that. Not inside, of course. She's just in one of the runs, which is sectioned off, so she can still see the boys and torment them. But the boys just can't get to her. It's quite cute. But I'm putting Sunna in there with her, so she's not on her own. So right now I need to go and put some fresh feed out for the ducks and the chooks, and then I'm going to come back in and pick up Freya and Sunna and take them out to the run that's sectioned off. And that's pretty much in part of my mornings. All the ducks sleep in here at night. It's just that I take them out first thing, often before I've even had anything to drink or eat myself. It's like, ducks are honking in the office. I need to, you know, go into the office and pretty much fish them out the beds and take them outside. But anyway, that's where I'm up to. I hope that has helped. Blackstrap Molasses, Nutritional Yeast. Have a stock of it for yourself. If you don't have a stock of it, for yourself, then have it for your critters, and it will help. Nothing will kill a duck quicker than being dehydrated, and then nutrition, nothing will hurt a duck more than having any nutritional deficiency for any stretch of time, whether they're little or older. Especially if they're little, you basically will create a disabled duck without the right nutrition when they're little. But when they're older, still, if for some reason something happens and they're not getting things down, like Freya was displaying on Wednesday, like she was a dying duck, that will happen. So for me now, if any duck is injured, I'm going to be giving them a cup of molasses yeast, you know, pretty much straight away, because avoid getting to that place where Freya was on Wednesday night. That was so, I was so distraught. I didn't want to lose my girl. Anyway, blessed be Mary Part. I hope you're keeping sane and busy and productive and creative. Take care. You say goodbye, Sunna. Pop, 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 pop. Freya, you're so quiet. Yeah. Sunna, you don't like the camera. You're so scary. Freya. Pop, pop, pop. Freya. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. He's a good mama. Yeah. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Yeah. Oh. Pop, 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 pop. Freya. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, they're just beautiful. Sunna, da 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 da. Pop, 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 pop. No. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, Sunna, Sunna, Sunna. Do 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 do.